unfortunately, what I think, and I can only talk from experience, that we do in this country, from my experience, is we try and put people from the mental health side of points into some form of disorder or box that allows us to then medicate and then stabilize, whatever that means, rather than actually, in my opinion, talking like we are now and like actually trying to understand, okay, who is Charles as a person? Who is Dr. Asif as a person? What's led Charles to be a quote unquote normal adult to this point, to where we are now? Because I think if you actually had the conversation with me, you'd gone, hold on, before we medicate, before we do X, Y, and Z, these things that have happened to him, take the apprentice out of this and just say divorce, bankruptcy. That was another thing I forgot to mention, which was, again, the self-destruct button. All these things. That's enough for anybody who feels certain ways. And those are things that should be talked about openly and should be converse with friends or professionals or whatever. And that's something that isn't done in these places. There's not enough time, quote unquote, as they say. They're too busy doing other things. And you end up just being put in this melting pot of people from all different backgrounds, which is interesting for sure. And then the other challenge is you don't actually know where along the spectrum of mentally well to mentally really unwell people are that you're talking to. So that kind of warped things for a while. And then you've also got a whole plethora of different people with different conditions, which makes things rather interesting. It's a very unusual place to be, because I said this the other day, I was thinking about this. There aren't many times in your life as an adult, right? Maybe this is probably like as a child, it is the case, where in fact it's not open as a child, because as a child you've got school and homework and things. In this particular environment, when you are in a mental hospital and you are sectioned, which is like basically means you're legally held there.
Yeah, exactly. You have to be held there.
Yeah. And you don't have to think about what time you're waking up. You don't think about meal preparation, because that's done for you, breakfast, dinner. You don't have anything to do. You can't even really watch TV, because there's one TV between X number of people. That's out. And so all of a sudden, again, it's kind of, I'm not saying it's good or bad, there's both sides. You have a lot of time to think and consider things, and it's a very, very interesting place to be and to find yourself. And around all these different people from walks of lives. I mean, some were like super dangerous criminals in their time, and they're just put in this pot. They don't really know. You don't understand the time. They just don't know what to do with you. They just don't really know like what to do with the people there. So you've got the mix of people and things that I saw. I mean, some are like, thankfully, I don't know how I'm good at dealing with things, but some extremely traumatic things you would see, the worst things you can imagine, and that more. And on the other side of it, you would see people, and that's what I started doing a bit when I was kind of better, quote unquote, is kind of mentoring people and helping them through their own difficulties. I think you probably heard of the term the wounded healer.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, my friend Dr. Ahmed, who was going to invite on the podcast, he's a friend of mine. He's a Lebanese psychiatrist, Dr. Ahmed Hanker. Shout out to him. He's actually got the wounded healer tag on Instagram. So on Twitter, that's his actual handle. And I believe he's writing a book. He's a Cambridge doctor. He's writing a book. I was in contact with him recently, last couple of years actually. But wounded healer, exactly. Basically lived experience.
Yeah, I mean, I funnily enough, the person that introduced that to me was another candidate on The Apprentice in my year, which is Jade English, who I've not spoken to in a long time, but I was quite friendly with her at the time, and she mentioned this to me. I don't know how it came to pass, but effectively, my understanding of it is you have your own things going on that you haven't resolved, but you find solace in helping other people, and in fact, often are very good at helping other people.